So we're coming up on 4 years since Donald Trump announced his candidacy for president.
We are going to make our country great again.
Not a lot of people thought he'd be the next president of the United States. Not a lot of people thought he'd even make it to the Republican primaries or even the debate stage. Now we're talking 4 years later about Donald Trump gearing up to run for re-election. And the question is, how is his political standing as he looks to 2020? One of the things that makes it so tough to gauge Donald Trump's political standing is the fact that there isn't a lot you can really compare him to when it comes to recent past presidents of either party. Every past president, every modern past president, even the ones who've ended up being one-termers, have gotten honeymoons. They've gotten a period early on in their presidency where their approval rating has been 60, 65, 70% or more. Barack Obama had that. Bill Clinton had a honeymoon. George H.W. Bush had one. You never saw one with Trump. He never cleared 50%. No modern president has failed to clear 50% at any point in their first term. And so it just raises the question, can a president with that kind of low approval rating win re-election? And the normal answer you would give is no.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. On many sides.
We've seen it in his presidency, whether it was Charlottesville, the Russia investigation.
Russia did not help me get elected. You know who got me elected? You know who got me elected? I got me elected.
Whether it was any of the other major controversies, is this the moment that everything changes for Trump? We asked the question over and over in the 2016 campaign. We've asked it over and over during his presidency, and the answer has been no. His approval rating as president, his support as a candidate will drop in the immediate aftermath, and it will return to baseline. You look at Republicans who have stuck with him through all of these controversies. The flip side is voters who are not naturally Trump supporters. They're looking around right now, and they're seeing an economy that even they say they think is in a good place. You know, a poll this week found 70% of Americans say the economy is in a good or excellent place. Generally in the past, presidents have gotten credit when people have feelings that positive and that strong about the economy. And yet with Trump, he is not getting a bang from the voters who weren't already with him. And one of the things when you talk about President Trump's approval rating being so stable and so steady and really not changing from the campaign, it speaks, as we say, to polarization, partisan polarization. If you look at Republicans, Trump's approval rating has been basically a flat line all the way through, close to 90%. Republican voters themselves seem to be making the decision for Republican leaders, and that is they're going to stick with Trump in 2020. And the baseline number for Trump always has never been great. It's never been anything you'd look at and say, yeah, this guy's a sure winner. But given the fact that he won in 2016, you can't look at it right now and say he's a sure loser.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.